Throughout Israel and across the Middle East, countless numbers of Arabs and Jews have reached a peace agreement. Their stories are different, but the claim is the same. Behind the headlines and against the odds, there is peace in Israel. It's nightfall in Jerusalem, and Rahel Natanal is starting to make her rounds. Soon, her car will be filled with people. Friends and strangers, Arabs and Jews. The ride is often risky for this Israeli Jew who travels to Palestinian zones to pick up passengers.
Shalom.
But she says it's worth it to bring people together to forge friendships and talk of peace.
I want to see everybody together. The Arab, the Jewish, the pastors, the people, poor people, rich people.
Her vision is reality for nearly 1,000 people who have been to her home, drawn by her love and concern. Amir is a Palestinian from Hebron.
I worked for many Jews, not one or two or three, but many. And I never met anybody like her. She is very nice and good, and whatever I want, she brings to me.
When you give the love and you open the house and you open the heart and you can hear all the problems that they have and you want to help them and you say that I want to try to do something and I want to help you, and so they love it.
Which is why people come back again and again, like Sharabi, a Jew.
We simply became friends, and I liked how she saw things. She has a completely different view of the world. That's it.
If Rahel's views are different, they are also exciting to many who know her, people searching desperately for the hope and joy she seems to exude. Rahel is happy to tell them where she found both. It was in the Bible back in 1994. Rahel started reading about Jesus, Yeshua. At first, she was afraid.
I feel like if I speak about Yeshua, nobody will stay more my friend or my family. But it was more strong than me. And when I knew that Yeshua, he is the Messiah, I couldn't be quiet, and I start just to bring people, and it starts here in my house. With Yeshua, all the walls fall and you can be one.
It's the message at the meetings, along with the friendship and the food. Jews and Arabs sit side by side, listening to stories about Jesus. Although some here say they are unsure about God, nobody denies the peace they feel in Rahel's living room.
There is a thing here that I'm still investigating and checking. And I think, and I even believe, that at some point I might reach it. Just like many others that I met here said that it took them 10 years. I hope it won't take me as long.
That's between Sharabi and God, says Rahel. In the meantime, Rahel has more meetings planned, people to visit and people to comfort. And where she sees gaps between Arabs and Jews, Rahel says she will try to build bridges or act as one. Rahel says it's what God would have her do.
I cannot see any hope except him.
When Joseph Haddad looks back at his past, some of the memories he finds there bring pain.
I was living a terrible life, and I came to a point that I knew if I continue in this manner, I'm going to put an end to my life. I had no hope.
He says the future felt bleak to a young Arab boy in Israel.
I felt hardness toward the Jews. You feel like all the time you are under somebody who is ready to arrest you or to charge you or to bring accusations against you. It was not easy. There is no freedom in such a life.
Hopelessness turned to hostility, and in time, the war outside Joseph's home was matched by the war inside his heart.
The political situation in the land also added to this. I did not have peace neither with my family, with my parents, or even with myself. And as a teenager, I remember that I mistreated my parents. I was beating them, cursing them, and dealing with them as my enemies. I woke up at night, my mother was sitting in bed and praying, Lord, change him. She was asking God to help me and change me. I was ashamed of myself. You see, I wanted to be changed, but I couldn't change myself.
He thought marriage would inspire a change. He was wrong.
And now I had 3 people to mistreat: my father, my mother, and my wife.
In February 1984, he met some people who seemed to offer hope.
They were talking about Jesus and salvation and starting a new life. I remember that I started crying, and it was a long time that I did not cry. I think over 10 years I did not cry.
Joseph prayed, and over a period of months, he says, his life was transformed, as was his heart.
The first thing I did was to go back home, and I took a basin of water. I washed my father's and mother's feet. I was kissing their feet. I was crying, asking forgiveness. There was a great joy in the house.
He reconciled with his wife. Joseph received forgiveness, but now he had to give it. He turned to his Bible.
If Jesus could forgive all his enemies despite the mistreating him and dealing with him in a harsh way, I believe that he can give me the power to forgive my enemies. And this is what happened.
The war is over within Joseph Haddad. And today, he tries to bring a message of freedom to those still held hostage by hatred.
When you live in peace with God, when you live in peace with yourself and in peace with everybody, this is the climax of your life. This is only God who can do such things in the life of a man.
And in case some of you don't know my real name, it is Taysir, the son of Said, the son of Ali, the son of Hassan, from the clan of Abu Sada, descendants of Ishmael, the son of Hagar, the wife of Abraham.
Class is in session. Taz has much to teach because he had much to learn.
I got to know the Jewish people whom I have hated all my life with passion to the point of going after them to kill them. I had a passion for killing a Jew. Thank God he's cleansed me from that.
It happened during prayer.
Suddenly I found myself praying for the Jewish people. They were on my heart to pray for before my own people. And I was just stunned. I heard myself praying, Lord, bless them, bless your chosen ones, and take them back to the promised land. I heard myself doing that, and I started wanting to shut my mouth with my hand because I realized what I was saying, but I couldn't because it's so bubbling inside of me.
Also inside him, a deep desire to unload the hatred he carried for Jews. Taz says Jesus taught him how.
On the cross, he was dying, and he said, Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing. Now, that is the model for me. If he can forgive so much, I can forgive so little.
In 2001, Taz was invited to share his life story at an Arab-Jewish conference in LA. At the podium was Moran.
And he shared about his friends that were killed by a suicide bomber in the war. And after he finished, he went back to his friends.
And Taz is coming to me and is saying, hello, my name is Taysir Abu Sada. I said, nice to meet you. And in my heart, I was like, what do you want from me? And then he's looking at me straight in my eyes and said, and I was a Fatah fighter. And when I heard the word Fatah, which is a PLO, the Palestinian Liberty Organization, I took a step back.
I said, but I want to tell you something. He said, yes. I said, I want you to know that I love you.
And I was like, right at that time, the leader of the meeting asked us to gather in groups of 4 or 5 and pray together. And here I am, finding myself shoulder to shoulder with an ex-Fatah fighter.
And we're praying for our heart to be reconciled. And we were praying in tears and weeping.
He asked me for forgiveness in the name of his people, for my friends who died. I asked him to forgive me for my anger and my hatefulness towards the Arabs, and for not being able to trust Arabs and love Arabs. What God has done in that moment, He has lifted that burden away from my shoulders. And He gave me love. He gave me so much love.
And gave him a brother.
That I'll be willing to give my life for the soul of a Jew. Okay? I'll say it with all of my heart, because I know God's heart for those people. And if I want to be obedient to God, I got to do what God is saying to me to do.
Tas willing to die for me. And that's a love that is more than a brother, a man that is willing to sacrifice his own life for the sake of his brother means the world to me. I love Tas, I love his family, and I'm willing to do the same for him.
He is my brother. He is my little brother. He means everything to me. That's the peace of God. No one can. No one can bring that about between two enemies, fierce enemies, except God.